What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Redbeard's Garage. And back last year we was at Fabtech, and this was held at Atlanta, and we've been there before. We have an awesome time, and if you guys are ever around the area of Fabtech, we would love for you to come out and hang out with us. Well, we was at the Quantum booth. We always help talk to people about the weld tables, and this year was particularly a little strange because the owner of Quantum, Albert, wanted me to look at a bunch of saws, and I'm thinking, I don't know anything about these saws. So Quantum Machinery Group sells Macc saws, and they're from Italy. They're crazy high quality, industrial grade saws. And he starts walking me through on the first day of Fabtech before it all starts, and I'm thinking, man, he wants me to start talking to people about these saws, and I've never used one, so I'm really paying attention. And they're walking me around, and then they unveiled that Macc saws made me a custom 320 CSO. Now this is a bandsaw that has crazy capacity. It can cut, it's just an amazing piece of equipment, and I had no clue that they had custom built me this thing and was surprising me with it. So here's a little bit of rough video. My wife was filming, and I saw my wife out of the corner of my eye filming with her cell phone, but I thought she might have been taking pictures for social media because it was the first day of Fabtech to say, hey, Redbeard's Garage is at the booth, at the Quantum booth in Fabtech, so come see us. And she got this video. You can't hear much, but you can see I'm kind of in shock the whole time after he unveils it to me. But here's the video, and then we're going to get it here to the house, get it unloaded, and build a cart for it and do some cuts.
No, I just wanted to show you. This is a single phase machine, so this is we wanted to unveil this particular machine at the show. So with both of Macc and Quantum Machinery. This is your new bit of kit. So hopefully you get a bit more decent cutting to do as opposed to that circle, so you're running.
RJ's a paid actor. He can't really run a podcast. He's just acting. Oh, we're just that's like So we got that cart all built up for the bandsaw, and I think it looks sick. It keeps the saw super low to the ground because it actually sits down inside that cart. And we put casters on it. Now, I did buy these casters off of Amazon, and just the weight of the machine is about 750 pounds. These were supposed to be 2,000 pound casters. I do not believe they would ever hold 2,000 pounds, but that's what they're rated for. So the problem with these casters is they flat spotted as they set for a week, like a barely little bit of flat spot. So I'm gonna have to get some solid wheels, I think, instead of these rubber ones. But what a freaking unit this saw is. It's like so amazing that Macc would, you know, grace us with this amazing saw. So we got some, I don't know what size this is. I think it's 4-inch, quarter-inch thick wall tubing. Let's throw it in there and do our first cut with this machine. I do have it filled with coolant. I did overfill it. And the thing about these is they have a weep hole, so you don't overfill them. It'll spill out, and when we move it around, that sloshes out. So what I'm going to do is tap this later and put a 90-degree fitting and run it down into a catch can, so we don't have a mess like we just got when we moved it. So yeah, this thing is absolutely a crazy piece of equipment to have in our shop. And one thing is Quantum Machinery Group. This was kind of a combination deal. Macc gave us a saw, and Quantum was kind enough to ship it from Italy over to the United States. So huge shout out to both Macc and Quantum Machinery Group for making this happen. You can find these on quantummachinerygroup.com if you want to check them out. If you have a business that you need a saw like this, these special 320 CSOs are just a freaking unit. This is such an awesome piece of equipment. So we're gonna get it clamped in, and this vise is super high quality. It's got the teeth on it, so it really bites in material and no slippage. It's just a great piece. And I already got these tuned in. I did run it without a piece of steel in it because you can shut these on and off. And yeah, so let's get this thing going. So as you can see, I didn't have to do anything. I just basically set up the speed of the cut and just started cutting it. And that is a super clean cut. Look how clean that cut is. It is crazy at the quality of that cut. So this basically can do, I think, up to a 45. So after the cut's done, we just raise this thing up, and then we can adjust like our angle if we want to. We leave our steel clamped up, and then it has a handle on the side that we loosen, and then we can spin the head around. So with this handle, just knock it to the back. We can turn the head up to 45 degrees. Now, and it stops right there. So then we just set the handle. Then we have to move this little tray back here to catch our washout. And then other than that, we need to slide our material. And you're not moving that piece of steel. I mean, it is insane. Okay, I think those settings was good. I'm gonna slow down the bow speed. And I'm gonna make a holder for this stop. This stop is for doing repeat cuts of the same size. And I don't like it just sitting on the table, especially in the coolant. This, my concrete's not super level in here. It's smooth, but it's not level. So we're gonna have some pooling of the coolant. That's no big deal. It's all waterproof. It's all welded table. So now we're ready. We just hit the start button again and ready to cut. Had to stop the cut to adjust the opening in the bow. You want this as close to the steel as possible, and I never adjusted it from before. So here we go. So that's a super clean cut. Of course, I didn't slide the material out enough. This is just a test piece, but cut it like, the biggest thing about this saw is, first off, the quality of it. It's just super high quality. And the fact that you can start a cut, walk away, do something else, and it's just going to cut through. You don't have to babysit it. You're not manually pulling down. You can do the manual where you're pulling the trigger on the bow. So I had to readjust this guide a couple of times because, of course, I'll get used to this thing. But you can slide this guide forward, lock it back in, you know, for getting it as close to the material as possible. And I need to let it out some, but crazy high quality machine. So I want to say again, massive thank you to Macc for sending this over. Basically, they supplied the saw and Quantum Machinery Group imported it over here, and that wasn't cheap. So a huge thanks to both Quantum Machinery Group and Macc. The saw is made in Italy, but you can find the parts in the United States. Quantum Machinery Group does sell these saws, and they keep a ton of parts like blades and any kind of maintenance parts that you would need for this. So if you're in the market for a saw like this, don't let it scare you away that it's an Italian saw. For one, it's made with crazy high quality, and for two, you don't have to worry about parts because Quantum carries them in good old state of North Carolina. So thank you, Quantum, for toting this puppy over from Italy, and thank you, Macc, so much for giving us this. We had no clue about it. Like I said, you guys see me surprised whether you can hear the video or not. I had no clue that they was going to surprise me with this at Fabtech. So I built this cart for it, so now we can move it out when we need it and when we're cutting a bunch of stuff. It's super handy because a bandsaw, you guys probably know, you can cut multiple pieces of steel at one time if you're using square tubing. You know, if we're mass producing something, we can cut, you know, 6 pieces at one time. I don't know if the manufacturer will tell you to do that, but that's the way I'm going to do it. But the fact that it cut that 1/4 inch almost silent, like literally I could walk around the shop and do anything and let this saw do its job, and the cut is going to come out super clean. Yes, I could cut stuff fast on like my chop saw. It's loud as death. It's messier than this is. This keeps all the fluid contained and all the chips contained because it's cooled, you know, liquid cooled. That thing throws hot shards everywhere and sounds like a freight train. And you cannot get a super clean cut on that saw. Like if you're needing really close cuts, you're never going to get it out of chop saw. That's where you're going to find this. So again, I want to really extend my gratitude to Macc and Quantum Machinery Group. It's just awesome that God has blessed us with people in our lives that, you know, support us. So massive shout out to Macc and Quantum Machinery Group. Can't wait to be using this, cutting all kinds of stuff. We're going to fill this up with gravy at Thanksgiving, cut up our turkey on it, all kinds of stuff. Thank you guys again. We love you, Macc, and we love you, Quantum Machinery Group. Thank you, guys.